Hey folks, as you may or may not know, I play Overwatch from time to time. Recently on the player test realm, Blizzard released a new hero Arisa for the public for playtesting. I thought there would be no harm in giving you a quick overview of the character and some general first impressions. Why watch my video when there's likely thousands of others like it uploaded already? Well, hopefully I have the best thumbnail. Anyhow, onto the hero. My first game I entered mid-match on the losing team, so needless to say I didn't really get to test her much. Of course, she'd already made a first impression on me, what with being a robotic quadruped with a Gatling gun that has 200 rounds per clip. I quickly got to grips with her abilities however, and noticed that she's a tank hero, which is good for me as tanks tend to be my pick in competitive. So what do her abilities actually do? Left clicking fires the Gatling gun style weapon I mentioned called the fusion driver. It's rapid fire and likely one of the most powerful weapons there is in Overwatch. The problem with it is that Arisa moves extremely slowly and the fusion driver slows her down even more. It also has a pretty long reload time from what I could tell. Regardless, think of her as a sort of mobile bastion when in sentry form. With only 400 health, she has one of the lowest health pools of any tank next to Winston, though half of that health is thankfully armour. Arisa doesn't need to worry about damage too much though, as left shift enables an ability she has called Fortify. Fortify raises your arm and makes you glow gold, while significantly reducing the damage you take. You can still fire while it's up, so it doesn't seem like a bad idea to use it whenever you think you'll be taking a considerable amount of damage. Her next ability is called Protective Barrier, and is bound to your E key. This ability throws down a shield that resembles Reinhardt's shield or Symmetra's projected barrier. Unlike those abilities though, it will stay in place indefinitely until it's destroyed or you place a new barrier. With 900 health it's pretty tough, though it can be destroyed through focused fire quickly enough. What this ability allows you to do is to pretty much be a ranged Reinhardt, throwing down a physical shield at choke points and corridors, or just whenever your team needs it. The disadvantage when compared with Reinhardt's shield is that it has less than half the health, and it can't be easily taken down and redeployed as needed due to the cooldown. Of course, Reinhardt can't throw his shield about and he has to take it down in order to use his melee attacks, so it seems like it'll be a powerful defensive tool. Her last normal ability is called Halt and is bound to your right mouse key, sort of like the alternate fire abilities that Zarya and Lucio have. Unlike Zarya's alternate fire however, Halt is on cooldown. What it does is fire a large pulsing green ball at your target that moves quite slowly, a lot like Symmetra's charged right click. However, unlike Symmetra's ability, it doesn't require charging, and you can detonate it when you choose to by pressing right click again. If it explodes near an enemy or group of them, it'll pull them in and slow them down, making them easy pickings for your fusion driver or the rest of your team. Halt seems like it will be extremely useful to pull people out of position and into the line of fire, and the closest thing I can think of to compare it to is Zarya's ultimate, Gravity Surge. Naturally it's a lot weaker than that, but as it's not an ultimate and can be used whenever off cooldown, I can imagine creative players are going to have a lot of fun dragging their enemies about and ruining well organised pushes. Finally, Arisa's ultimate is called Supercharger. Supercharger places a device that amplifies the damage of all your nearby teammates. A lot like Mercy's amplification beam, they have to remain within its radius to receive the effect. So if you can, imagine 6 stationary Mercies who will damage boost any teammate who comes close. Obviously this is extremely powerful, and it was this ultimate that was responsible for many of the pushes I saw made on the PTR. The only downside is that, like the protective barrier, it can't be moved without obtaining another ultimate. The opposing team's best option would be to lure their enemies away from the supercharger, or to push them back so they can't receive its benefits. Otherwise, Arisa and her teammates are going to shred the opposition. So what exactly counters this literal walking tank? Well, as you saw from the start of the video, Reaper isn't a bad choice. As Arisa is so slow, he can get the jump on her and mow her down without much difficulty, as running away isn't an option. However, Arisa can fight back by using Fortify at the right time. The nature of her character also encourages grouping up, so Reaper's ultimate Death Blossom is undoubtedly going to work well against teams reliant on their Arisa player. I also saw high damage characters such as Junkrat and Bastion doing well against her, as they were able to destroy her protective barriers before she was able to put down another. Still, Arisa seems like a very powerful and fun tank character, and of course she's an Omnic, so that makes her even cooler. Lastly, I imagine you'll want to see the cosmetics available to her. Not everything is in the game yet, though most of her skins are, with the exception of one missing epic skin. Personally, they're not too much to my liking, but Arisa has such a striking appearance to begin with that it's hardly as if we need a pink variant of her with Christmas lights and air horns to ship with her on release. If you want to try Arisa out, you can do so for free on the public test realm available from your Battle.net launcher. She'll likely be available in the real game a week or so from now. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.